Well, hello everyone. It is Thursday, March the 17th, year 2022. Hopefully you're doing, what's a good word? Outstanding, fantastic, wonderful. And remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a personal advisor on your life. I'm not a CPA. I'm not an attorney. But the famous words of no one, or maybe the famous words of everyone. Would have, could have, should have. Could have, would have, whatever. I'll keep confuse myself. But how many times have you kind of kicked yourself? Man, why didn't I do that? Thinking about something your past, yesterday, last week, last month, last year. Could be anything. Could be you, could be my age. Like, man, why didn't I go to college? Man, why didn't I graduate high school? Man, why didn't I stay in the military and get my pension at 20 years? As an example, I have talked to so many folks out there who were like prior military, did their 4 years, did their 6 years, and they're roughly my age. And I have heard so many times, if I had stayed in, I could have retired 15 years ago. And so on and so on and so on. Woulda, could have, should have. All right, so if you're watching this, have you at least made an offer on your first rental house? Have you? If not, why not? All right, because the older I get, the more I have gotten into investing. I started as a young guy, approximately 22 years old, not knowing what I was doing, putting $1,000 into some mutual fund, and then putting like $50 a month. I was in the Navy. I was in the country of Panama doing that. I didn't know what I was doing. I just put money in there every month. I look at magazines, and we didn't have the internet. And my statement that came probably monthly or quarterly, but by the time you get it, it's already past tense. We didn't have this instantaneous stock quotes that you get now, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, but anyway, and as I told a gentleman last night that I was chatting with, I bought my first rental house when I was 49 years old. 49. 49. How old are you now? All right. If you're younger than I am, or if you're older than I am, it's never too late to get started. All right. So just take that first step. Don't be oh man, I would have, I could have, I should have. Do it. Just do it. Because time after time, story after story, YouTube channel after YouTube channel, there are so many folks out there who can tell a story somewhat like me. They struggled in life, but then they got their first rental. And we all took a different path in life. We took a different path. But anyone who has a YouTube channel has been semi-successful, at least at a minimum, because they bought their first property. Now, with that being said, there are folks who have bought their first property or their second or their third, and they have fallen on hard times, they've struggled, and they've given up. They've quit. They've sold their property. You can find a lot of folks like that. You may have somebody like that in your family, even, that they might have had rental property, and it was just such a struggle, they gave it up. All right? Real estate is a struggle. All right? It is a struggle. Don't let nobody out there tell you it's easy. It's not. It's a struggle. Michael Zuber is famous for saying, real estate will try you. All right? It will try you. I've told stories about my very first tenant, how she flashed cash and I let her in, and 2 months later I was going through the process to evict her. All right? It stressed me out. It was hard to deal with, but I got through it. I just got through the eviction of a tenant in Birmingham. And the house has finally been rehabbed. And I'm trying to get hold of my real estate agent there so he can hopefully list it and put it on the market so I can sell it. All right? But it's just taking time. I've bought houses in the Windy City. It's almost a month that I've owned my first one. It's a process to get it rehabbed. It takes time. It takes patience. If you invest in real estate, you have to develop patience. If you don't have patience, you better develop it. I'll give you another example. I'm buying a house in Northwest Indiana. I was supposed to close tomorrow. I was notified late yesterday that there's going to be a delay. There's a title issue. So until that title issue gets cleared up, we can't close. And that could be next week we close, next month, maybe in 3 months. Who knows? I've been through this before with the title. And it was called something like a quiet title. Don't ask me to explain it because I can't. And it was a process. It took several months. It had to go in front of a judge, get a judge to sign off on it. And then finally, after months and months and months, we were able to close on it. So real estate will try you. All right. I've had A tenant come home and a water line had broken in her house and flooded the kitchen. Nice house. Now we had to replace the floor after we dried it out and sanitized it. I've had sewer lines get clogged up. I've had sewer lines get dug up. I've had sewer lines get routed out. I've had trees cut down. I've had roofs replaced. I've had windows replaced. I've had doors replaced. I've had hardwood floors sanded and stained again a couple years later. I've had walls painted, ceilings painted, and so on and so on and so on. I've done a lot of stuff to a lot of property. I'm getting to the point I've had a lot of tenants. I don't know many of them, except I know a couple. I know a young man, Robbie, who bought my triplex from me. So, Robbie, I don't know if you'll watch this, but you have a triplex, you're house hacking, you're living in it. You know the other two tenants. So far, perhaps it's easy. If it is, it will try. Something in real estate will try you. All of you in my mastermind group, you've seen some posts on mastermind this morning, in our group this morning, WhatsApp. And some of you have had experiences just like I have. Others of you probably have bought real estate and it's like, what's the big deal? I just buy it, I sign it, I close it, I get the rent checks in. It's easy. All right. But real estate will try you. So with that being said, don't be the sort of person when you're my age or older than me or even 40. Saying to yourself, man, I should have, I would have, I could have, but I didn't. We all go through struggles in life, every single one of us. All right. One of the weaknesses in the American society, and I'm going to generalize here, is that so many parents, when they raise their children, want to give their children, and this is talking about my generation for the most part, plus or minus, most of these parents want to spoil their kids. They want to give them everything that they didn't have. But by doing that, they spoil them. And so many of these Americans, they're my age and they're younger than me by a generation, don't know how to work. They don't have a work ethic. They want everything given to them. It's like, government, give me my stimulus. Government, stop giving me stimulus. Give me more, give me more, give me. They don't want to work. And so on and so on. But then, if you're one of them, I understand, but buckle down, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, forget about how you were raised, and refocus. Clear out the mind, refocus, and get that grit, get that motivation. All right, because all of us, we all have 24 hours in a day. We all have 24 hours in a day. We all have a finite lifespan, not an infinite lifespan. We have a finite lifespan. We are not going to live forever. Well, I watch YouTube quite a bit, and I watch various channels too that are like Legacy, I think it is, legacy.com. They got a YouTube channel, and they talk about it. They do a weekly thing, maybe even more often, about famous folks that have died. Almost every day, some famous person, might be an athlete, a movie star, a musician. More and more folks from my generation that I watched, listened to, etc., they're passing away. Some of them you hear about as it's happening. Others, they just kind of faded away from memory. And the years tick on and then boom, they're gone. Okay? Happens to all of us. Happens to all of us. All right? All of us YouTubers, myself, Millennial Mike, Michael Zuber, Dion, Chad, everybody out there, we're all going to fade away at some point. Michael Zuber wants to leave a legacy behind. He wants to, when he's dead and gone 100 years, he wants folks to know who he is. I don't want to burst his bubble, but they probably won't, because that's just how it is. When someone dies, I mean, if it's your spouse, your parent, your kid, sure, it lingers on, but as time passes, the blow softens. It's not as traumatic, okay? If it's someone we knew on YouTube, if it's me, I've impacted some of you. If I pass away, sure, you'll get together sometimes and say, man, I miss Maskey. But as the years go on, you kind of forget about Maskey. You know, it's just how it is. Just how it is. I remember talking to one of my grandfathers a long time ago. He died all my grandparents died in their 90s. And he was probably in his 80s, then maybe in his late 70s. And I asked him what it was like to get old. I was younger. He might have been in his 60s. I don't know. I was a kid, I think, or maybe like 12, 13. And I asked him what it was like to get older. And he said the worst part about it is everyone that he kind of grew up with and knew was dying off. You know, his parents had died, siblings had died, friends had died. And the older he got, everyone was dying off because most people don't live to be in the 90s, especially back then. You know, nowadays more people are, but still the majority of folks don't live to be in their 90s. Okay? So the older you get, folks start dying off. All right? So don't be in that crowd of would have, could have, should have. All right? Take that first step. Talk to that lender. Talk to that real estate agent. Take that first step. All right? Do what needs to be done to get that first rental property. Don't be scared of debt. All right? Be scared of bad debt, credit card debt. Be scared of that. Be scared of a car loan. Be scared of that. Don't be scared of getting a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. 30-year fixed rate mortgage, not adjustable rate mortgage, 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Don't be scared of that, because as long as you are positively cash flowing, that tenant you have will pay that mortgage. And as long as you hold out money for repairs, vacancies, and capital expenditures, if that tenant moves out and there's tenant turnover, or that tenant doesn't pay for 3 or 4 months, you'll have money saved up to pay that mortgage. Okay? So don't be scared of debt. I understand it's hard. I understand that it's challenging. I understand if you haven't bought that first house, it's hard to take that first step. But push yourself. All right? Push yourself. Lean on me if you need to. If you're in my master group, lean on all of us. All right? If you have friends who are a local real estate meetup group, lean on them. But keep in mind, at local real estate groups, they're everywhere. But you're going to meet a lot of people who are in that camp of would have, could have, should have. They just won't do it. Some will, but there are folks who actually attend these meetings that just analysis paralysis. They just can't pull the trigger, and they won't do it. All right. Another cup of green tea. All right. And good enough. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. I got a busy day today. I got some chores to do. I got to work on tax stuff. I got a doctor's appointment this afternoon. Maybe that's why I talked about life and death. So we'll see. I need to swim at some time. And so on and so on. And I've been doing some research too, trips I want to take. So, because we only live once. All right? Good enough. Y'all have a great day. Stay safe. Keep loving life. And Mazske is signing out.